Hello students, welcome back to our YouTube channel Evolution Classes. So in the previous class we were discussing about a chapter called Matter in our surroundings. In that video we discussed the very basic information about the matter. So now in this video we will continue the next episode of the chapter. So here mainly we will discuss about the concept of physical nature of matter. That means how physically the matter is. So what is it is made up of? All these things we will discuss in this video. Okay, first of all, you think of or you imagine a solid material like a chalk piece. You take an example of a chalk piece because we can easily visualize the physical nature of any matter by this example. So you crush this chalk piece. You take the chalk piece and you crush it. So what we get? You will get the small particles. It forms a powder which forms small particles like this, which contains the powder. If you crush this chalk piece, you will get the small particles. Correct? That means here this chalk piece is eventually it is made up of small particles, very minute particles. So you take any example of matter, all the matter is made up of the small particles. All the matter is made up of very small particles. Okay, so this is the first point that means here physically the matter is made up of the small particles. This is the first point we need to look in. Okay, we will write that point now. Okay, so as we discussed here, matter is made up of small particles. All the matter is made up of small particles. But in the previous video, the ancient Indian philosophers thought that the matter is made up of five basic elements called Panchatattva's. So here, eventually we came to know that the matter is not made up of these five elements, but actually it is made up of small, tiny particles. Okay, this is the physical nature of matter. Now we will discuss what are the properties or characteristics of the particles of the matter. That means here, what are the characteristics of these particles show? Okay, we know that the matter is made up of small particles. Then how the particles are there in the matter? How they behave? What are the characteristics of the matter, particles of the matter we will now discuss. So here the characteristics of particles of matter. Now we will discuss. So very important concept it is. We will discuss here. So before going to the deep understanding and characteristics of particles of matter, we will first understand this concept in a simple way. So first of all, if taken here for simplicity, there are large number of particles, but for simplicity, I will take only two particles for a better understanding. Okay, these are the two particles of the matter we consider, and you observe these particles here. They are arranged like this in this matter, and you observe here. So what is there in between these particles? What is there in between these particles? In between the particles, there is a space. Okay, that means here space is there between the particles. You can see here nothing is there. Some space, empty space. So this is the first characteristics of the particles of the matter. That means particles of the matter have space between them. Space between them. This is the first characteristic. So the particles are arranged in such a way that there is always some space between the particles in the matter. It may be different in solids and liquids and gases, the space. So there may be large space, or there may be a moderate space between the particles, or there is very less space between the particles, depending upon the solids, liquids, and gases. But whatever may the matter, there will be always some space between the particles of the matter. This is the first characteristic we have. The second one, Second one, the same two particles I will take here. Same two particles I will take here. Same two particles. And now, look at here. I am writing these arrow mark like this, which indicates that the movement. And by this we can understand that the particles of the matter are continuously moving. They are not stagnant, they are not static, they are continuously moving. The particles of the matter are continuously moving. You can see the examples better in gases. You observe the dust particles and you observe the water molecules. So there you can see the particles are moving. They are not standing still. They are moving. They are continuously moving. And in solids, the movement is negligible. In solids, the movement is negligible. But when the temperature is given, then the particles vibrates in the solids. But however, the particles of the matter are continuously moving. So this is the second characteristic. So what is that? Particles of the matter are continuously moving. This is the second one. I will now move to the third one. Third characteristics of the matter. That is, I will take the same particles here. But I will write the arrow mark here like this towards each other. And by this diagram, we can understand that there is some force of attraction between the particles. Attraction. That means when two are attracting, they come closer. Correct? So that means here I am writing the arrow mark, which whereby we can understand the particles are attracting. And you can see the best attraction in solids. In solids, the particles are having more attraction force than in liquids and gases. In gases, the attraction force is negligible. But however, the particles of the matter are attracting each other. So that is the third characteristic. The particles of the matter attract each other. This is the third characteristics. And these are the characteristics of particles of the matter. You take any matter, however, the extent may be different. The space may be different in liquids, gases, and solids, and the movement may be different extent, and attraction force may be different extent. But however, they have different extent of these qualities. They have all the matter must possess these characteristics. So what are those? Once again, we will recount them. The first one is, you can look at this diagram and you can understand here, there is always some space between the particles. So the particles of the matter have space between them. The second one is, they are always moving, that is continuously moving. You can see the arrow mark here. And third one, they attract each other. That means the particles of the matter attract each other. These are the characteristics of particles of the matter. Okay, by the discussion of these characteristics of the matter, particles of the matter, now we will see some noteworthy points here. We know that the particles of the matter are continuously moving. So by characteristic, we understood that concept. That means the particles of the matter are continuously moving. So when they are moving, they possess some kind of energy. So that energy we call kinetic energy. That means the particles are moving means they possess kinetic energy. Okay, that the particles of the matter have kinetic energy, and this kinetic energy depends on temperature. With increasing temperature, the kinetic energy of the particles also increases. That point we will know here. First point here. Okay, so the particles of the matter are continuously moving. Hence they possess, they possess kinetic energy, kinetic energy. They possess kinetic energy. With the increase in temperature, with the increase in temperature, with the increase in temperature, kinetic energy also increases. Their kinetic energy also increases. So I'll give an example. You take water and you give some heat energy to the water. So by absorbing that heat energy, the temperature of the water increases, and we observe that the particles, while it is boiling, we can see the particles are moving with more velocity. That means they have more kinetic energy. So that is what the meaning of this. With the increase in the temperature, their kinetic energy also increases. So whatever is the matter, whether it is solid, liquid, and gas, okay. So if we increase the temperature, and the particles will have the more kinetic energy with increase in temperature. Okay. So this is the point we should know here. The second one we should know here is what is kinetic energy. Okay. So we will note that point very quickly. Kinetic energy. So we represent this by K. We already know when a body is moving, it is always associated with some kind of energy. Without energy, it cannot move. That means what type of energy it will have. So whenever a body is moving, it will gain some kind of energy. That energy we call kinetic energy. That is the energy gained by the body, the energy gained by the body by virtue of its motion. By virtue of its motion is called a kinetic energy. When it is moving, it will gain some kind of energy. That energy we call kinetic energy. We call kinetic energy. So the energy gained by the particle or body, gained by the particle by virtue is because of by virtue of its motion, by virtue of its motion. Or you can write due to its motion. Due to by virtue is by virtue of, you can write due to its motion is called kinetic energy. Is called kinetic energy. Kinetic energy. Okay, and what is the formula for this also we should know. We can further studies it will be helpful. Okay, so the kinetic energy formula. The kinetic energy is given by the kinetic energy is given by, we have a formula K is equals to of mv square. This is the formula where K is kinetic energy, where kinetic energy m. The formula is K is equals to of mv square, where K is kinetic energy, m is mass of the particle, mass, v is its velocity. That means when it is moving, it is having some velocity, then only it has kinetic energy. When the body is not moving, it is at rest, then kinetic energy is zero. So when it is at rest, its velocity will be zero, therefore its kinetic energy also zero. So by this we can understand that only when the body is moving, then only it will possess kinetic energy. All the moving particles have some kinetic energy. This is given by this formula. This is what today's discussion, my dear students. We will stop the discussion today, and in the next episodes we will further discuss the next topics. Thank you.